Chapter 17 tonight of The Outlaw Varjak Paw by S.F. Said, illustrated by Dave McKeen. This is compared to chapter 16, which is very short, this is very long and a lot happens in it, so deep breath. Here we go. Chapter 17. Varjak woke. Mesopotamia was gone. He was back in the secret alleys. It was late afternoon and a cold wind was blowing through his fur. It was shaking the fire escapes and drain pipes. Somewhere in the distance, a door was banging open and shut in the wind. He could see Omar and Ozzy, Tam and Jess huddled by those grills on the ground, trying to get some warmth. He turned to look for Holly, but she was gone. A deep shudder of grief ran through him. There was a hole in the shape of her inside his heart. It hurt more than any wound he'd ever known. Tam and Jess came over to him. They looked like they'd been crying. "Are you all right, Varjak?" said Tam softly, placing a paw on his flank. He shook his head. He didn't want to talk. "I know how you feel," said Tam. "And I miss her too, more than anything." "And I miss my grandma," said Jess. Varjak's insides felt like snow. He could hardly meet their eyes. What could he tell them? "I was the one you were counting on, and I let you all down." "What happened to you back there, Varjak?" said Omar. "It was like you started shimmering, and then you just quit. You didn't even try to fight Sally Bones." Varjak shivered. He could still feel the cold in his whiskers, the bruising in his brain as she entered his mind. "I tried," he said, "but she was so strong." "No one can fight her," mumbled Ozzy. "Not even Varjak." The brothers looked beaten. "We're finished," said Omar. "What are we gonna do?" "We're not finished," said little Jess fiercely. "I still think Varjak can beat Sally Bones. She's scared of him." "I don't think so," said Tam. "But something must have got to her, or we never would have escaped." Varjak shivered. All he could remember was the ice blue eye burning into his brain, freezing him to his core. Outside the secret alleys, Cludge growled. Tam went to the railings. "The Scratch Sisters are out there," she gulped. "Cludge is holding them off, but they look so fierce. What shall we do, Varjak?" He joined her at the railings and peered through to the alley outside. He saw Cludge backing away from the three Siamese cats, Eliza, Militia and Penitia, Scratch. They were as lean and mean-looking as he remembered. Their claws glittered in the streetlight as they ghosted forwards through the rubble. "Where is Varjak Paw?" demanded Eliza. "We know he's here somewhere. Just tell us where and we'll leave you alone." She flashed her claws at Cludge, but he stood his ground bravely and barked out another warning. "Rrr, rrr." "Oh, hate those cats," hissed Omar, clenching his paws. "They think they're so great, but we're stronger than them. I know we are." "Let's fight them," said Ozzy. Far in the distance, a siren wailed. "No, you mustn't," said Tam. "What do we do, Varjak? I'm scared." Varjak's head hurt. It sounded like the Scratch Sisters were after him too. He'd better be ready to fight. He took a deep breath and counted in 2, 3, 4. He reached for his power. But there was ice in his belly. Out. 2, 3, 4. Ice in his brain. "Come on," he told himself. "Slow time. Moving circles. I know how to do this." In. 2, 3, 4. But there was only fear in his heart. Out. 2, 3, 4. Sally Bones' ice blue eye in his mind. It felt like his lungs were shrinking. He couldn't breathe. He slumped to the ground, shaking, gasping for breath. The power wasn't there anymore. It was gone. Out in the alley, half a dozen cats crept up behind the Scratch Sisters, a patrol from Sally Bones' gang. Streetlights flickered in the freezing wind. Their shadows danced on the walls. Cludge edged away from them, crouching low in the rubble. "Well, look at this," said the patrol leader. "It's the Scratch Sisters. What do you think you're doing in the city centre?" "Looking for Varjak Paw," said Eliza Scratch. "That cat's an outlaw. Sally Bones wants him dead or alive. He's ours." Dead or alive, thought Varjak. What difference does it make anymore? I've lost Holly, I've lost Mrs. Moggs, and now I've lost the power. I've got nothing left, absolutely nothing. If we find him, he is ours, said Eliza Scratch. This is neutral ground. The patrol leader shook his head. Nothing's neutral now. These are our streets, and this is our law. Our claws are the only law we know, snarled Eliza. These streets have always been free for everyone. Those days are over. The city belongs to our gang, and there's nothing you can do about it. Eliza's tail thudded in the rubble. Are you disrespecting the Scratch Sisters? She said menacing. Because Scratch Sisters never, ever back down. Never, said Militia. Ever, said Pernicia. They unsheathed their claws. Their pale green eyes narrowed to slits. They were outnumbered, but they knifed forwards, bristling at the Bones gang. Then it's time we taught you some manners, snarled the patrol leader. The two forces came together in a frenzy, fighting savagely on the street. Dust and debris swirled around them. Cludge kept well away, but the momentum of the fight was already taking them out of the alley. Watching behind the bars, it seemed to Varjak that the Scratch Sisters were the better fighters. Their claws flashed with stunning speed, but the Bones cat would win through the sheer weight of numbers. 3 of them swarmed over a Scratch Sister, and she cursed violently, but they were gone from view around the corner before he could see what happened next. Tam groaned with relief. That was so close. They'll be back, said Omar. We've got to get out of here. We can't leave the secret alleys, cried Tam, her fur and whiskers ruffled. It's the only safe place. Holly always said so. Well, not safe anymore, said Omar. We have to find somewhere else, right, Varjak? Varjak couldn't answer. It hurt too much even hearing Holly's name. Yet he knew Omar was right. They had to leave the secret alleys or they'd be found, and then Holly's sacrifice would mean nothing. He didn't want to face the streets again, without his power, but he couldn't give up now. I have to go on, he told himself. I have to find somewhere safe for us all. Because that's what Holly would do. He slipped out through the railings to find Cludge. The big dog was hiding in the rubble by an old cardboard box. Cludge scared, he was muttering. Scary cats come back. Want to go? One by one, the others followed Varjak out of the secret alleys into the winter afternoon. So it's true, said Omar. You're really friends with a dog? That's right, said Varjak, huddling against the cold. Cludge, these are our new friends, Omar and Ozzy, and Jessie. Cludge, barked the big dog. He wagged his tail at them. Jess smiled, but Omar and Ozzy's manes ruffled up. We can't go around with a dog, said Omar. He'll give us away. Doesn't he know any other dogs? Doesn't he have a family? Cludge whimpered. Varjak frowned. Holly had once asked the same question. Then, as now, Cludge looked like like a frightened puppy. Cludge is our friend, said Tam. If he wants to come with us, he can come. But it's dangerous, said Omar, his eyes flashing. He's a dog, Tam. Varjak didn't like the way Omar was speaking. He could see confusion in Cludge's eyes. He could see his great ears drooping. He turned on the stocky cat. Didn't you hear what Tam said? Cludge is our friend, and I'm not losing another. He's not being left behind. Omar stared at Varjak and then shrugged his rugged mane. Whatever, he said. All right, Cludge, said Tam. You're coming with us. The big dog grinned and wagged his tail. Friends, he barked. Varjak and his friends. He looked around. Where Holly go? Varjak opened his mouth to answer, but he couldn't. No words came out. She's somewhere else, said Tam quietly. Now, where are we going? No one had an answer to that. As they stood there in silence, the wind dropped and the city grew still. Daylight was fading. Soon it would be night again. Jess cleared her throat. What about Grandma's tales? She said. The secret city where there's always warm and there's more mice than you can eat. A big smile crossed Ozzy's face. Oh, I've heard that tale, he said. We heard it when we were kittens, remember, Omar? I remember, but I don't know anyone who's been there or even believes it. Holly always believed it, said Tam, and so did I, deep down. Did Mrs. Moggs ever tell you where it was, Jessie? Jess shook her head. She just said it was There were some fearsome guardians outside, so no cats haven't been there for years. Cludge, know the place, murmured Cludge. Bad place. Smelly. At first, Varjak thought he was joking, but Jess's eyes had lit up. That's right, she breathed. The most disgusting smell you can imagine. That's what Grandma said. Do you really know this secret city, Cludge? Asked Varjak. No, said Clutch, obviously regretting that he'd mentioned it. No there! No go back there! Back? Said Varjak. You've been there before. He looked deep into Cludge's eyes and again saw a frightened puppy who didn't want to go to a place that was clearly no joke. The sun was setting fast now. There wasn't much time left till nightfall. Cludge, he said, if there's a place you know that cats never go, please take us there. Cludge shook his head. No, Varjak, no! Please, said Varjak. We need your help. It's important. Cludge looked at him. Then he looked away, eyes full of pain and fear and sadness. Please, Varjak said again. Whatever's in that place, we'll face it together. You won't be alone, I promise. Not alone? Never. Come then, sighed the big dog. Come with Clutch. And that's the end of chapter 17. Where are they going? Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Okay, hope you're all right, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode, another chapter even, of the Outlaw Varjak Paw. Take care now. Exciting.